You thought Homer Simpson only had eyes for Marge his whole life?
But it's not on the calendar. Okay, but if I'm sleepy at work tomorrow, I get to tell everyone why.
Well, what if I told you that over the years, he's almost cheated, kissed other women, been seduced, drugged, and even kissed a guy? In this video, we're diving deep into all the forbidden, bizarre, and downright dangerous romances Homer has gotten into, or nearly did. From real flings to wild hallucinations, you'll see that our beloved Homer's heart and total lack of judgment has gotten him into some pretty crazy situations. So buckle up, some of these stories are so wild you'll hardly believe they actually happened on The Simpsons.
What am I going to do with you?
Please, nothing. I'm taking you home now.
Lurleen Lumpkin. Not every love turns into betrayal, but some come dangerously close to becoming history. In episode 19 of season 3, Homer finds himself in one of those moments where life pulls him away from home and straight into the unexpected. After an argument with Marge at the movies, he hits the road with no destination, driving aimlessly until he ends up in a dusty bar in the middle of nowhere. The jukebox goes quiet, the crowd waits, and then she appears, Lurleen Lumpkin. With a voice like honey, eyes filled with centuries of longing, and a song that speaks straight to Homer's heart, Lurleen sings of loneliness, routine, and unfulfilled dreams.
Hey, Lurleen, I gotta say something to you.
I'm listening.
Your song touched me in a way I've never felt before.
It's as if she's singing his life story. Spellbound, Homer does something he'd only do when guided purely by emotion. He becomes her manager. He knows nothing about music, fame, or the business, but he's all in. And slowly, he starts drifting away from Marge. Not out of malice, but because something inside him is getting lost in the fantasy of a new life. As Lurleen rises to stardom, she also falls for Homer. And him? He tries to resist. He keeps his distance, but every time she sings while locking eyes with him, something deep inside starts to crack. The tension peaks in the dressing room, just the two of them. The world outside goes quiet. Lurleen confesses her feelings. She leans in. They kiss.
What's wrong?
The whole romantic life is flashing before my eyes.
But then, Homer has that one spark, that rare flash of clarity only he seems to get. The memory of home, of Marge. In a moment of redemption, he sells her contract and walks away without even looking back. He turns down success, he turns down passion, and he goes home to the woman he chose from the very beginning. That night stayed with him, not as a mistake, but as a reminder. Sometimes the heart does waver, but true love always finds its way back. Mindy Simmons. Some temptations don't show up as sins. They show up as a better version of yourself. In episode 9 of season 5, the daily grind at the nuclear power plant is shaken up by the arrival of a new employee, Mindy Simmons. And from the very first glance, Homer feels something different. It's not just attraction, it's connection. Mindy is everything he likes and everything he is. She loves beer, devours donuts, hates working, and laughs at dumb jokes like they're high art. It's as if someone created a female Homer in a lab, except she's charming, sharp, and has a smile that melts any defense.
Foul temptress. I'll bet she thinks Ziggy's gotten too preachy too.
At first, Homer tries to resist. He thinks of Marge, the kids, the life they built, but fate keeps throwing them together. Lunches, elevator rides, quiet giggles, and the tension only grows. Then comes the breaking point. They're chosen to represent the plant on a trip to New York, just the two of them. Same hotel, same room. Time stands still. The air feels heavier. Mindy, open and honest, admits she feels it too. She doesn't push, doesn't seduce, but the door is open, a crack in the world. And Homer falters. Doubt creeps in. Desire clashes with guilt. Then comes one of the most ambiguous scenes in The Simpsons history. The two fall onto the bed, but in the final moment, it's Marge lying next to Homer, wearing the same outfit Mindy was just wearing. So was it Marge who won? Was it all in Homer's mind? A dream? A projection? The show never gives us a clear answer. Maybe it was just his imagination, clinging to the one truth he needs, that the only woman he truly wants is the one who stood by him all along. Or maybe it was the moment he almost gave in, and never wanted to speak of again. Julia. But no romance in Homer's life ever came this close to turning into a full-blown thriller like the one with Julia. In episode 2 of season 19, it all starts almost heroically. Julia bursts onto the scene through a crowd of hysterical fans and rescues Homer and Marge like a full-on secret agent.
Get on.
Moments later, she offers to become Homer's manager, turning his life into a kind of personal spectacle. So far, so good. But there was something behind all that charm. The truth? Julia wanted way more than to manage Homer's career. She tries to seduce him, but believe it or not, Homer says no. Proud, loyal, and maybe just a little clueless, he turns her down. But Julia didn't take rejection well, and that's when the tone shifts completely. First, she tries to kill him by hiding a live snake in his cereal box. The plan backfires hilariously when Homer, in pure panic mode, starts bashing the snake against the fridge until it passes out. But Julia doesn't give up. During a performance of The Barber of Seville, she disguises herself as the conductor and fires a poisoned dart from her baton, aimed right at Homer. But once again, it's Marge who saves the day. She throws a French horn into the path of the dart, which ricochets in perfect cartoon logic right back at Julia. And even that wasn't the end. To stop the poison from spreading, because why not, the security guards go full Looney Tunes. They shoot her and drop a chandelier on her head to squeeze out the venom.
Okay, that's a wrap, people.
Yes, that actually happened. As she's dragged away to a mental institution, Julia swears revenge on Marge with the help of a cable TV company, no less. She may have faded into obscurity, but in Springfield, no villain ever truly disappears for good. Grady, and then came Grady, possibly the most unexpected moment in Homer's romantic history. In episode 17 of season 14, it all begins with something innocent enough. The Simpson family is putting together a puzzle when they realize a piece is missing. While searching for it, Homer stumbles upon something far more disturbing, an old note from Marge written before their wedding, saying she had second thoughts about marrying him. Homer's world crumbles. Feeling hurt and lost, he moves out and ends up renting a place in Springfield's gay neighborhood. That's where he meets Grady and Julio, two fun, stylish men looking for a third roommate.
That's right, Homer. We're gay.
You are? Which will win out? My old-fashioned prejudices or the fact that I've already mixed my laundry with yours?
Life there is lighthearted, colorful, and full of new experiences, even for Homer, who begins to feel strangely welcomed in this new environment, so different from his usual world. But then comes the most unexpected twist. In the middle of a quiet, intimate conversation, Grady kisses Homer. It's not a joke, it's not confusion. Grady is clearly in love. And Homer? He freezes, shocked, speechless, and responds in the only way he knows how. "I'd just end up hurting you." Then he runs, leaving Grady heartbroken with only a soft sigh lingering in the room. In the end, Homer returns to Marge, more confused than ever, but also with a new kind of clarity. Because no matter how many stumbles or surprises life throws at him, their love is still his starting point and his way home. Lily Marlene, and then came Lily Marlene, the woman who made everyone in Springfield swoon, except Homer. In episode 5 of season 32, Lily arrives like a British whirlwind of charm, elegance, and an utterly irresistible accent. Everyone falls at her feet. Moe, Barney, Lenny, Carl, even Chief Wiggum drops by Moe's just to catch a glimpse, but Lily only had eyes for one man, Homer Simpson. That's right, the only guy who didn't show any interest was the one she wanted most. While Homer, as usual, remained completely oblivious to the romantic tension in the air, Lily became more and more enchanted by his simplicity, honesty, and, of course, his bumbling awkwardness.
Wow. You're the smartest woman I've ever met in my life. Except one.
But unrequited love has its limits. Tired of waiting for something that would never happen, Lily decides to return to London, but fate had one last twist. Not long after, she reappears with a new boyfriend, a British version of Homer. In the end, Lily got the Homer she wanted, just with a spot of afternoon tea. Candace, if there's one story that blends seduction, confusion, and a touch of hallucination, it's the wild ride that is Candace. In the season 27 premiere, Homer meets this bold and mysterious woman after she randomly takes his narcolepsy prescription. Instead of giving it back, she invites him out. But this isn't your typical date. Candace drugs Homer, and, though it's all implied, they end up spending the night together. The next morning, things get even weirder. She introduces Homer to her father as if they're in a serious relationship, and casually announces she's pregnant.
Oh God, I've just committed the one drunken mistake I've never made. Well, Bart.
That's when Homer's mind starts unraveling, and the whole story collapses into a surreal mess. In the end, he wakes up. None of it was real, just a dream. But before the happy ending kicks in, Candace throws in one final jab, mocking Homer's masculinity with the line, "Even I've dated more women than you," and with that, she vanishes, leaving behind one of the most chaotic, delirious, and hilariously unhinged detours in Homer's tangled love life. The blue-eyed wife. Not every romance starts with flowers. Sometimes it starts with a lemon in the eye. It all kicks off in episode 20 of season 23, when Homer, encouraged by none other than the smooth-talking Stradivarius Kane, decides to flirt with other women just to boost his confidence. And, surprisingly, it works. A mysterious blue-eyed woman becomes genuinely interested in him. But what was supposed to be a harmless ego trip turns into a real problem when her jealous husband shows up, armed and furious. In a moment of panic, Homer does what any improvised ladies' man would do. He squirts lemon juice in the guy's eye and bolts.
You think a lemon will stop me? A lime! No!
But that wasn't the end of it. Later, at a party, they cross paths again. The husband, still raging, tries to shoot Homer, but this time, the woman takes control. With a perfect high heel kick, she knocks her husband out cold and yells for Homer and Marge to run. And just before disappearing from the story, she leaves behind one last dramatic line. Run, my love. It was just one episode, just a passing spark. But it proved that, even with the belly, the bald head, and absolutely zero filter, Homer's got a certain charm. One he sometimes forgets he even has. At the end of the day, Homer might be a total disaster, but when it comes to love, he always finds his way back to Marge. Even surrounded by temptation, stolen kisses, and unresolved crushes, his heart never really left home. So, which of these almost romances did you think was the craziest? Let us know in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe, because in Springfield, love is never simple, and the next story might be even wilder. See you in the next episode.